Can you just tell me what about analytics? Because honestly, when people think about people who would love analytics and really welcome analytics, they wouldn't think you would be at the head of the line. Why? And maybe you are. Why have you embraced it?
Well, that's really how I got into the league. I was a quality control coach in 1993, handled all the game analysis, and so learned it from the ground up. And my thing with analytics, and people used to hate the term when I'd say, statistics are for losers, because it's really the application of the information from statistics is where the value is, and that's something that I've always pushed forward. So when you really break that down, is all this analytics and the third party analytics in our business now are better than ever. I mean, there's some great companies out there that are giving you great information, but the real test is how how to utilize it.
There's an excerpt here that I wanted to pull up. That I wanted us, the viewers, the listeners, to know what is quality control, because I think I've heard that term so many times, but I've never been like, I don't know. I didn't know what a quality control coach or assistant was, so I had to do my research and look it up. And so I'm going to read this to you guys. It says, contemporary coaches are always searching for an edge over their opponents. Now that the computer age is upon us, the analyzing has become more technical. Many of those coaches have assistants called the quality control coach. However, the quality control coach doesn't really do much coaching at all. They spend all day multitasking, breaking down film up to 5 weeks in advance, and analyzing data. Let me read that again. It says the quality control coach spends all day multitasking, breaking down film up to 5 weeks in advance, and analyzing data. Okay? They work all hours in hotel lobbies, airplanes, and things like that. They pretty much coach the scout team to ensure that the starters, are prepared for Sunday. They study the opponent's tendencies and all this type of stuff. So, remember when Coach Mike McCarthy took that? Y'all may not remember, but Coach Mike McCarthy, when he left Green Bay, he ended up taking a hiatus year in 2019. 2019, he did not coach. And he said that, he was reviewing the data and analytics. And a lot of people like to say the coach was lying and he's not a numbers guy or an analytics guy and all of this type of stuff. But this shows the opposite. Coach Mike has been a quality control assistant, which is all focused on analyzing data, right? So for all of us who's, because what we call them, the stat nerds, right? Mike McCarthy is also, or has been, a stat nerd. I think Mike McCarthy, and when we know about his education level and things like that, I think Mike McCarthy definitely believes and looks at the numbers. He's not a guy, and he's never said that he's hated analytics. He believes in analytics. So that should give a relief to the stat nerds to know that Mike McCarthy does believe in analyzing data. He did it before during the beginning of his foundation, and he did it with Hall of Fame Joe Montana, right? So when we have a coach that's done all of this, right? Because Mike McCarthy literally was solely he was responsible. What it's showing you is that Mike McCarthy was responsible for preparing Joe Montana every week to know his opponents. So, because there's some people that try to say, oh, he didn't actually work with Joe Montana. He absolutely did work with Joe Montana. He had to. He was a quality control assistant. So he was responsible for preparing him every single week. So let's get rid of that myth.